Well, good afternoon, good evening, my beautiful people. Happy Saturday. If you've been in Florida, you're probably a little soggy. I am Bullhorn Betty. This is Sebastian Rogers. He's a case that we have been personally covering here on all main social media platforms. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims. The case is starting to take a turn. Now, as many of you know, I've recently filed a federal lawsuit against Sumner County for violations of my civil and constitutional rights in relation to what, basically them conspiring with the Proudfoots to have me arrested because they didn't like my commentary. They didn't like me posting flyers about Sebastian Rogers, which has been missing 2.5 years because I've been screaming from the rooftops that their investigation is horrible and that their investigation wasn't a real investigation, and they never turned that house into a true crime scene, which is what the gold standard is of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We went through the entire book of what the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children recommend law enforcement to do when there is a child missing, especially a child that's disabled or has autism. They even have a special section for that area, and the Sumner County Sheriff's Department did not follow any of that. We don't even know if they did proper forensics inside the home, and we're learning that it's possible that they did not even confirm Chris Proudfoot's alibi. So tonight, whether people know it or not, the father is going to be having a live on his YouTube channel to discuss some of the nuances in this case. Now, I don't know what he is going to really say. I don't know what the conversation really is going to be about, but I'm pretty sure he is going to be talking about, at least in part, some of the filings that he filed against Sumner County, Eric Craddock, the detective on the case, Brandon Carter, and a separate lawsuit that is going after the Department of Children and Family Services because DCS in that area was involved in his son's case and even flagged the case as, this child being ripe for removal from the home prior to him disappearing. And it sounds like Sumner County Sheriff's Department was involved with the Department of Children and Family Services cases and situation related to Sebastian Rogers, but they ended up closing the cases. I'm not sure what their ultimate findings were, but in the reports, a neighbor did discuss some of the statements Chris Proudfoot made, and one of those statements was that he hated him and wanted him to die. And this, again, was before this child disappeared from that home under all these suspicious circumstances. Now, Sebastian Rogers was a very high-profile case. The sheriff treated this case terribly. The sheriff only gave a few interviews, and the last press conference was April 2nd, 2024. Whenever Seth goes to that office, they will not let him in. The last time Seth was in front of that office, Eric Craddock, the Sheriff Snuggle Struggles, ran into the building to avoid even seeing him. What a coward. What a stinking coward. And Seth has victims' rights. You guys have no idea what Seth has gone through trying to find his son. And it seems like the sheriff's working more for Chris and Katie Proudfoot than they are helping him find his son. And as you know, there's some really suspicious things going on inside the house of Chris and Katie Proudfoot before this young man went missing. So that's kind of where we are. But if you guys are not on the YT, which some of you guys are, some of you exactly like somebody's grease going on. Yes, exactly. And the fact that nobody is looking, or, you know, law enforcement wise, I mean, we've known for a while Chris and Katie have stunk to high heaven since the inception of this case, including Chris never even taking time off work. He was thrown off his job for his job performance the day that Sebastian disappeared. He wasn't even going to take time off work when he had a stepson that was missing. He was just in a raw, foul mood, like he didn't sleep all night. I wonder why. But again, at the end of the day, at some point when law enforcement is no longer working your case and lying to you, and when you're out in front of their office avoiding you and another officer flipping you the bird, I think at some point you kind of get sick and tired of that type of investigation, and you realize that type of investigation is literally going nowhere. Some of the things outlined in these allegations are quite horrible, including assertions from Chris Proudfoot himself talking about basically gut punching Sebastian Rogers. For all these people on this platform, especially those people that are friends with Barbecue Lady that was on here smearing Seth Rogers, I want you guys to understand who you were smearing Seth Rogers for. A man that physically admitted to abusing this child, to the point that in the file of the Department of Children and Family Services, he was getting ready to be taken out of this home. So for all the people that want to sit there and take up for Chris and Katie Proudfoot and have taken up for them and have given them money, or have given these pieces of garbage on these platforms that took up for them, that literally crucified an innocent father that's doing nothing but sitting here trying to fight for his son, while two people that this child was in the care of lost him or did something terrible to him. And people on here were beating up the father that was at work when this happened. I don't know how you sleep at night. I don't know how how you're okay with your behavior and the way you treated an innocent father. But shame on you. And shame on the people that supported those channels doing this to Seth Rogers. Shame on you. Shame. He was trying to fight an uphill battle, and he had a corrupt county to boot, and then you guys piled on top of him. Shame on you. And still to this day, these pieces of shit still pile on top of this man. It's bullshit. And we all know it. We all know it. So I'm super glad that Sebastian's father, Seth, has taken back some of his power, has, through the help of his attorney, made a very powerful statement of change. He wants change to come to that community, and change needs to come to that community. I have never seen a community so noticeably corrupted and everybody be so blissfully unaware of the corruption going on in their backyard. It's sad. But I think that this is a great step to learning what happened, and more importantly, learning how shoddy the investigation was into his son's case. I hope by the end of this, Seth gets the answers he needs. I pray to God this brings about change that needs to be had. And I pray to God this starts kickstarting the investigation into the right direction so we can find out what happened to Sebastian and hopefully bring him home if law enforcement hasn't screwed up this case too much. Well, Kirsten, I hope you guys vote differently. I really do. And I hope you guys vote that sheriff out of office with the first opportunity, at your first opportunity. What he has done is terrible. His leadership is terrible. He's lost a lot of money for that community because of his leadership. Your taxes are going to start going through the roof because of his leadership, and not just his leadership, the rest of their leadership as well. But at the end of the day, we've got to start taking some stuff. We've got to get people in office that are going to actually look for missing children in their own community. I cannot believe that we have a missing child in a community and that's still not a top priority when it appears to be their only missing child. I'm saddened by that. I'm absolutely saddened by that. But I'm very happy that, and you know what the worst part about this is that this shouldn't have ever happened. No parent should ever have to be suing the law enforcement body investigating their child's case because they're doing a terrible job in violating not only their victims' rights, but everybody that they bring in to help them. They violate them, they try to throw them out, and if they can't get them out some way of pressure, then they start arresting them for no reason and chumping up charges, because that's what happened to me. So now there's 2 major federal lawsuits against this sheriff because of this specific case, mine and now Seth Rogers. And Seth Rogers also has the Department of Children and Family Services case as well that's going to be talked about here over the next few days. That's another separated case. So anyways, I hope you guys, Sebastian's Army is still supporting. If you guys heard people disrespecting Sebastian's dad, Seth Rogers, I would definitely unsubscribe from them, because the hell with them. This man has fought. He's gone to the mattress for his son while Chris and Katie were protected by these monsters on these platforms. And most of these monsters had their own children taken away because of their own negligence. So it seems like a birds of a feather type of situation. So if you guys are sick and tired of child abuse, and you're sick and tired of content creators that enable child abuse, then unsubscribe from them. At the end of the day, no father should have to be doing this. Law enforcement should always protect the children and always go to the mattress to find out what happened to them. And in this case, they laid down to protect Chris and Katie Proudfoot. That's certainly what it feels like for me. It's certainly what it feels like from your perspective. You guys know that. So tonight, I believe it's going to be 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So in a few hours, we're going to be on the YT on Seth Rogers' channel. If you guys have not, you just type it Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, and you should find his channel and sub up to his channel, because you're going to have to sub up in order to communicate in chat. So make sure you guys sub up in order to do that. And please bring a lot of love with you when you come over there, because Seth, this has been hard on him. As you guys can see what he looked like 2 years ago and what he looked like in those interviews with the news. I mean, he's suffering, and he's suffering greatly. He wants his son back. That's all he wants. He doesn't care about anything else, just his son. It's heartbreaking. It is absolutely heartbreaking. So anyways, I hope to see you guys, and I hope to see you guys support Sebastian's father tonight on his channel. And I look forward to seeing you guys all there. So thank you guys. Don't forget, Sebastian's Army, guys. We keep fighting, fighting, fighting. So let's fight, fight, fight. We'll see you soon.